Hello there. How are you? It's a Sunday here. I'm just sitting, exploring myself. I don't know how else to describe it, but by the way, I'm Paul, and I entitled this video, Are you consciously aware of where you're carrying pain, past, struggle, armor inside your body? So I've been sitting for about the last 3 weeks with something called deep vein thrombosis, which is basically a blood clot in your leg that happens just out of the blue. And basically it made my leg swell up 3 times its normal size with a lot of pain and discomfort, and just out of the blue. Then you got to take these pills and dissolve all the blood clots and basically work through what I can only describe as stuck energy in my body. And it's given me a lot of time to be in my body and to think and to be in frustration, to be in anger, to be in fear, to be in a whole bunch of things, which in this very roundabout way has been a gift. I was laying in bed this morning. My leg is the swelling is going down and getting back so I can walk properly and I don't have to maybe keep my leg up all the time, but everything happens for a reason. And it can be happening to you or for you. And this is happening for me. And I was laying in bed just a little while ago and I felt a relaxation that happened in my body that I haven't felt before. There's a part of me, call it Paul, part of Paul that basically has been trying to meet an unconscious set of expectations, which I wasn't even aware I was doing, but it's be a good boy, be a good man, be a good father, be good to society, pay your bills, meet all your obligations, etc. And something relaxed in my body and I just kind of felt limp and I wasn't even aware it was there. And I can go back, I can sit inside my brain, and trust me, our brains are not really our best friends in a lot of ways. They're stuck in a loop of programs and other things from outside ourselves that keeps us in a tension, a fight or flight, and a cortisol hit constantly, where things aren't working out and then we blame ourselves. And it's all convoluted, it's all twisted because the blame, yes, we're doing what we thought we were supposed to do. We were programmed by our parents, by our religion, by society, by everything that's happened up until this point. All your relationship partners and your kids and all your expectations, your jobs, etc., into believing in a lot of ways there's something wrong with you. And there's not actually anything wrong with us. We've been programmed to be out of control of our creation. And our fears and our worries and that tightness that's in our body, basically the tightness I could feel like is like bracing before impact. It was like and all my myofascia and all the little muscles and fibers between my ribs and in my body were just waiting for something bad to happen. Because it came and happened so many times in the past, and then it was like brace for impact because you can't make it to the next one and you're going to maybe die. That's what's inside my body, and I can feel it shaking, and that fear and that little part of myself that things haven't been working out for, relaxing and making a choice to change. Because I'll tell you right now, and I can guarantee it from my own reality, everything that's not working out is my choice. Based on a whole bunch of past situations that were really dark and lessons and darkness that were playing in my field to basically teach me, and that I partnered with. I have to take responsibility. This is all happening for me, not to me. I'm not a victim. I'm fucking taking responsibility. But what's in my conscious, subconscious, and unconscious, and my protector has basically closed off my heart and my ability to love and my ability to have good outcomes in my life has been taken from me by that fear. and that unawareness of my fear. We all have fear. We've been programmed into it. It's societally been trained into us for so long. It came from our parents, and we don't even know it's at the base of our awareness of our brain. Something you need to understand about our brain is a projector. It's a thing that creates the reality around us. Think of it as thoughts and light pouring out, and it shows up in our, physical awareness around us. So if relationships aren't working out, if money's not working out, if abundance isn't coming in, or your businesses have failed and your life has failed, I can go back and look at all those things that happened and see the push of society, of programming on TV, of friends, of everything that basically made that manifest in my life. But some of those things that were dark at the time, like having a divorce, was the biggest choice of self-love I've ever made for myself. And with it comes this fear of unlovability, of not being worthy, of having a relationship, of having a divine partner. I never had a really good female role model in my life. My mother was hurt and very wounded and raped as a child, and I can understand that. And I carried that for so long, but I don't need to carry it for other people. It's their choice. So I'm now standing in this place of welcoming a healthy feminine role model, healthy feminine to surround me into my life, which makes me feel like a little child sometimes, but that little child never had it. So I'm actually having to take the divine feminine within me and having her hold that part of me while the words are coming as grow up now, into that healthy feminine that was within me. I maybe didn't receive it from outside of me, which was a choice that basically helped me learn love and differentiate love from like mummies or mothers or the feminine around me, and integrating it and saying I was always worthy of it, whether or not my mother had it or not. And I could use that as I'm a victim and I've been hurt by this or whatever, but it's actually a gift, which is really hard to recognize because it created a lot of pain and suffering in my life. But until I put that down and I fucking own that I chose it, that I welcomed it in so that I could see all of this, there's a relaxation inside of me, because now it's like, okay, I chose that and chose that contraction and chose that fear of and trust of the feminine, so I could find myself and understand my true masculine and my feminine inside of me as well, which is very strange because it's like this thing that was your birthright, and we all got to get safe mummies or daddies or whatever, and I kind of reverting to my child self or whatever, but it made me grow up so fast, and it made me grow up in self-protection and this unconscious belief that something bad was going to happen from outside of me, and from trying to connect with feminine, trying to love a feminine. And I was a feminine for a long time, and I'm not talking like a gay person or transgender or whatever, but I lived in my feminine for a very long time because that was my safety. It did not seem to be safe when you're a boy child to a mother that's angry at men for causing the wounding and other stuff. And I don't blame it. It's just like, it's a pattern that's been in our society and in our roles. And I'm sure there's something similar that exists for the feminine and their dads and not masculine. And I'm finding I have to come into conscious awareness of this shield and this protection that I have, and consciously relax it and basically let the story have no more energy, because I'm creating it around me and I'm drawing in that same thing, and I'm causing a misdirection or a reversion that pushes away the very feminine I deserve to welcome into my life, as the feminine is pushing away the masculine. I don't think the story is very different on either polarity, but it's plain. And it's basically replacing your nervous system. The protection and the tightness I was telling you about, call it hypervigilance. It's like watching out to be safe in every person, and it made it impossible for me to see other people. Sadly, they were their own version of hypervigilance, which caused a headbutting or a suffering or a struggle that didn't serve either. But and it's not small work. I'm having to sit inside, and I'm having to sit with that part that feels afraid and is protecting itself and relax it, because my divine worth is to have a loving feminine counterpart that can love herself, and while I love myself, and we love in balance, in giving and receiving. And something I've really strongly learned in love is that the most difficult things you're going to face, the fears or the stuff that shows up in your body, is your inner work. And if you can find someone, I've learned to be able to face those things in my life, and to find someone that can do the same in their life is a magical place. A place where you can be scared and they can be scared and all this kind of stuff. And as long as you can be direct and say, I'm feeling uncomfortable, or this doesn't feel good and this is why, that's love. At least in this time right now, love may be ease and grace, but the love to get to that love of ease and grace and trust and feeling safe with a partner is the most magical thing we can ever receive. But it requires you to love yourself first, and to see the things that are causing mistrust and pain, and having direct questions and asking and seeing if that other person wants that same thing. And once you can find a person that's willing to live in that directness, it builds trust and being vulnerable. And we're all wounded and we're all broken and we're all scared shitless of stuff and all this kind of stuff. The more we can welcome people in that can talk about it, the quicker we're both going to heal. And that's the place of real true love. If we continue to prop ourselves up with the love of other people, and they only love me as long as they're respecting me and doing this for me and making breakfast for me on the weekend and texting me after and all this kind of stuff, those are all just stories of our convoluted mind and our inner child basically begging someone to meet us at a level to avoid having to meet ourselves. And when you get in the habit of being trusting with other people and opening your heart and loving from a space of being vulnerable and being in acceptance of ourselves, even if we feel broken, and that's the things we should be talking about, or our insecurities and that kind of stuff. Say, I'm feeling insecure right now, or whatever. I needed to hear back from you, or whatever, and now I don't want to be around you because you're not safe, or whatever. These are all protections and stories. But if you can get into the space where you're just basically being yourself, and maybe having emotions and having agreements with your partner to have emotions in safe ways, then they learn who we are. And they learn who that broken, scared piece is, until we can relax and just be that broken, scared piece, until that no longer is our truth. And then we'll realize that underneath that is a foundation of real, powerful, divine creatorship. And then all of a sudden, we let go of the beliefs, and the beliefs that say, okay, we're not good enough, or I got to do this, and I got to please, and I got to do this in society. If we let go of all that kind of stuff, all of a sudden, all that energy that was focused outwards comes inwards, and our dreams start happening. And I'm right on the precipice of that, as I'm letting go of all this fear and this blocking, and I'm unworthy, and why does this keep happening, and my victimness and all this kind of stuff. All of a sudden, faith and trust of myself flows in. And as I have that for myself, then that comes in through partners and through people that I'll meet each and every day. And there's nothing I have to be or force to welcome that part of me in. I have to accept it in. And I have to let go of my protections, let go of that myofascial bracing for impact. And once I'm in that, then everything changes. And I'm seeing it. I'm having to let go of people in my life that were examples of the old parts of me that were not serving and were codependent and attached and really uncomfortable. And I'm starting to say, no more. No, that doesn't serve me. This hurts. This feels like protecting myself. I want to be in a room with a partner, with somebody that I can trust and know that they'll say what they feel and what's scaring them and that kind of stuff. That's the true love that's going to get us through everything right now, and can talk and to be vulnerable and say, oh shit, this is shitty and this feels ugly and this ugly part of me is coming up and I'm scared. Fuck, that's the level of vulnerability that changes everything. We're getting better every day, and what's coming on right now is really hard and really intense, and it's attacked my body, and my body's laid me up until I could see this tension. And now that I see the tension, I'm just consciously letting it go, consciously inviting my dreams and speaking them into reality, and imagining how it would feel to have those people in my life and the magic happening. What are you doing for yourself? How are you letting the unconscious go, the protections, the scared, the fight or flight and all that kind of stuff, and just breathing into it? And then if you're with a partner, even though you're scared or whatever, saying it out loud. But I in my world, I can't trust a partner that won't say it, and it's there and it's obvious and this kind of stuff, and they're guarding themselves. That's often the mine, like a landmine, where you're gonna walk into something with that partner, and that partner will explode into a million pieces, and it will harm you and all this kind of stuff, without basic agreements with a partner to speak what your truth is, speak what you're scared of, speak what is hiding in the underbrush. That changes everything. And once you have a person you can trust that much, I can feel it right now. My whole energetic system is relaxing. The space between my cells is opening, and I'm trusting. Because that's what you've been worthy of since you were born. Trusting. But you were taught over and over and over again through TVs and movies and parents and traumas of others or whatever to not to trust in the universe, not to trust in divine flow. So what your life is right now is this version that's crazy. So what are you going to do to make a change today? I want you to lay down, put your hands on your heart, and just breathe deeply. Breathe right to your toes and right out afterwards. So right to the tips of your toes, hold it, and then let it out. While your hands are on your heart, and just feel into your body. Where do you have pain? What's suffering? What's pain? What's disgusting you right now? What's not feeling right? What's the things in your life that you don't want to live anymore because they keep showing up in this old way? It's just a pattern. And you're going to have to get really conscious with your brain and tell your brain, no, I'm worthy. Where the fuck do you get off saying I'm not worthy, or why is this not working out, or getting angry or frustrated or wanting to punch things or whatever? Own it. Breathe into it. And then when you feel that heaviness, breathe. Just breathe the fuck out of it. Like, wide open mouth. Breathe the frick out of it. We got to move that energy. You're full of stuck and goo and tar and shit that said no. And it's time for you to say yes. And invest that yes into your brain, into your heart. Hold your heart. Open your heart. Consciously, like, I can feel the ribs are just cracking and stretching because I've lived like this for too long. You're ready for better. I'm ready for better. And I'm speaking of what I'm finding as I'm unbinding this in myself. And it's been horrific. The relationships and crazy shit that I've had of going back to people that just only care about themselves and say they care about you, but all they want is a piece of you. That's narcissistic and a version of what I grew up with my mother. Are you time for you to be done for it? The partners that I've had that have had these problems have had parents that were similar. And all they're doing is replaying the same shit and hoping something better is going to come out. And it's time to be done for all of us. So choose. I plant seeds of love into my heart. seeds that will soften me, and into my pelvis and into my root chakra and my genitals and all the parts where I'm feeling contracted right now. Choose to do the same. Choose to change. Choose to shine the light. And if something changes, write it in the comments. People want to know. Everybody's going to have to make this choice. I love you. I'm finding it within myself, and I'm sharing and discussing it right here and right now so that everybody can be blessed with this same awareness. I love you. Have a good day. You got this.